From Arthur L. Johnson High School in Clark, New Jersey, this is Verizon Fios Sports continuing coverage of New Jersey High School lacrosse, as today it's the 2017 Union County Championship game between Westfield and Summit. Hi everyone, alongside Dan Long, I'm Sadiq Faruqi. Glad you can join us for what seems to be, Dan, a yearly tradition, as for the 6th straight year, Westfield and Summit meet in the county championship game.
It seems like the expectations you have in life: death, taxes, and Westfield versus Summit in this Union County championship. And they've produced some epic showdowns as well. A triple overtime winner last year for Westfield, a double overtime winner for the Blue Devils the year before. What do we have in store for us here in 2017?
Well, Summit taking the earlier meeting between these two teams by the final of 5-2. For Westfield, a high-scoring talent in the form of Nick Bond.
The midfielder can strike from distance. He's going to be relied on to be a big-time scorer for this team, especially matched up against this very cinchy defensive zone for Summit.
As for Summit, a high-powered attack in their own right. Harry Kilkowski, the player to look out for this afternoon.
Kilkowski leads the team in goals, assists, and points on the season. He's been outstanding for the Hilltoppers this season, and he's going to be one to watch against this Westfield defense that is really going to be trying to stay with the Hilltoppers all day long.
Summit and Westfield Union County Championship, starting lineups and opening face-off when we return on Verizon Fios One Sports.
Fios One News, your number one source for local news, traffic, and weather in New Jersey. Every 10 minutes, get your forecast with our exclusive Weather on the Ones, plus precision traffic updates. Watch Verizon Fios One News, traffic, and weather only on Verizon Fios TV.
Union County Championship game between Summit and Westfield. Is the 6th straight year that these two teams will be squaring off for the Union County title. Let's get you the starters. First for Westfield: Nolan, Rittendale, and McLane on attack, Bond, Warnow, and Aslanian in the midfield, McElroy, Dombrowski, and Pribiliski on defense. Jack McCauley in between the pipes for Westfield. 76 saves coming into this game. He had 5 in the semifinal win against Scotch Plains Fanwood, a season-high 11 against Adele Barton. As you get a look at Patrick Toohey, now in his 5th season at the helm for Westfield. He played his high school lacrosse at Westfield, collegiately at Roanoke, ending his college career early to serve the United States military in Iraq. As we get to the Summit starters: McManus, Kilkowski, Fowler on attack, Johnson, Tyler, and McTurnan in the midfield, Doherty, McTurnan, and Tully on defense. Will Vuitton, athletic goalie in between the pipes for Summit. He is also an ice hockey goalie. 93 saves coming into this game. He had a season high of 15 against Morristown. James Davidson, now in his 19th year at the helm, inducted into the New Jersey Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 2007. Truly one of the pillars of New Jersey high school lacrosse. As we get to the Verizon Fios One Sports keys to the game.
And if you're Westfield, you're going to be trying to isolate your mismatches, and that means dodging at defensive middies, especially if they line up at the top of this vaunted defensive zone. So you're going to have to try to match up anytime you see a short stick rather than a pole in front of you. Quick start to this game will dictate the tempo, and that means winning on faceoffs, pushing the pace a bit, trying to get as many shots and offensive opportunities. For Summit, keep the offense flowing. Back-to-back games of 14 goals. You know that you can score and you have the weapons out there. Try to keep on being aggressive. Don't just slow it down to play to your opponent, and trust your defensive structure. You know what works. You know why you're the best defense in the state. Keep on doing that. Don't make Westfield change you and come out of your structure.
As we are ready to get underway here in Clark, New Jersey, as Westfield and Summit for the 6th straight year battle it out for the Union County Championship game. Westfield in the blue, Summit in the white. As we are underway, scrum for the opening face-off, and it's collected by Summit. Summit going right to left, Westfield going left to right. As we get the officials: Mike Donnellan, Charlie Zuloff, and Nick Kratz Jr. officiating this contest. Dan, what do you look for early on to this high-powered Summit offense?
Well, Summit certainly is rolling at this point, as they've gotten to be very familiar with scoring 14 goals in their last 2 games apiece. Now, you don't they may not be able to reach that benchmark here against a very strong Westfield team, but they want to sustain long possessions and look for the cutters inside, namely McManus, who they were trying to get to it right there to start off this first possession.
McManus, the man cutting out in front. Chris Fowler trying to find him from behind the net, and now it's Eamon McTernan. McTernan with 11 goals on this season cycles it behind the net for Fowler. Fowler guarded tightly by Luke Hunziker. Solid defenseman for the Blue Devils. Summit with a disciplined possession here as Jackson Tyler cycles it behind the net. Now out to Eamon McTernan. McTernan has really come on strong as of late here in the second half of the season. Shot on goal, bounced wide by Jack Johnson.
That time Johnson was just trying to fire it a little too hard and did not have the placement as he took the step into the shot and fired it almost down straight at the turf.
Submarine shot just whistled wide by Fowler.
Goals are going to be a premium between these two excellent defensive teams. Only 7 combined goals in their first meeting of the year, a 5-2 win for Summit.
As restarting for the Hilltoppers is Harry Kilikowski, the man we featured at the top of the broadcast. As Kilikowski tries to find a cutter out in front, and again it is Fowler. As the ball is fought for on the far end and collected by Westfield. And now the Blue Devils look to clear.
Big ground ball that also pushes things in transition a bit. Doesn't look like they're going to really ratchet it up, and they'll slow things down as they substitute their offensive midfield onto the field. But if they want to catch Summit out of their comfort zone, they're going to have to keep on winning those ground balls and also try to push the pace a bit where you don't have to go 6-on-6 every possession against these Hilltopper defensive stars.
Yeah, Dan, I know we featured Nick Bond at the top of the broadcast, but a player to really look for is Devin McLane from behind the net. He likes to set up shop back there. 27 assists on the season.
And McLane certainly knows how to win big-time games here. He won the game in triple overtime last year with a second remaining in triple overtime to win the back-to-back county title for Westfield. They're looking to get the three-peat going here today.
McLean and Rittendale play catch. And now Nick Bond.
And it's going to be interesting with Bond, Sid, because he's a midi, even though he's shifting right now inside to the crease, that he provides the distance shooting for this Westfield team that can maybe stretch out that zone.
Getting the inside position and bouncing it wide is McLean. And they're going to call a crease violation on McLean, so Summit will have possession.
He fell into that perimeter. As you'll see, the crease there marked in a blue color. He tried to contort his body as he came around the far side of the crease, but after he shot it, his own momentum took him into the crease. Now, it's completely different if he got pushed there, but that is a violation because he knowingly threw himself into the crease.
Illegal procedure on Summit, so Westfield will have possession and getting a good opportunity on their first possession. As mentioned, Westfield falling to Summit earlier in the season by the score of 5-2. As Jake Warnow Jr. cradles for the Blue Devils, gives off for Nolan. Now William Swartz. Behind the net they go for Nick Bond Jr. This is Warnow. Warnow fires wide, but on the back up there is Rittendale.
Again, just trying to find some movement on the perimeter, as well as you'll constantly see a bevy of cutters stacking up on the top of the crease, as well as even further out to the 20-yard line. That's where Bond sets up camp right now.
Westfield checking into this game with a record of 6-5. Summit 12-2. Their only losses to Chatham and Del Barton.
Not too shabby to lose to those two statewide powers.
Nick Bond, 25 goals on the season, freeing himself up, fires and scores, and Westfield fires the opening salvo. They lead 1-0.
And that's where we were talking about and why we highlighted Nick Bond. He's a zone buster. Strong move here, one-on-one. Defensive midi covering him, so he doesn't even get a long stick to poke at him, and that allows him to then set himself with the left hand overhand. All that velocity on the bounce shot. Summit couldn't slow it down. That's Bond's team-leading 26th goal of the season, and Westfield with some early confidence leading 1-0 with 8:09 left to go here in the first.
So Summit getting the game's opening possession, a pretty sustained long possession. Westfield getting the ball and eventually scoring
and making the most of their most of their second opportunity, because that came after the crease violation, but then it was a substitution infraction. The legal procedure gave added life, new life to Westfield. They made Summit pay for their mistake.
Bond had 3 goals and 2 assists against Scotch Plains Fanwood in the semifinal win. An 11-10 narrow victory for the Blue Devils to get to this stage. As fighting for it is Jack Shark, a senior midfielder. And it's going to go the way of Westfield. So Shark will bring it into the offensive third. Good start here, Dan, for Westfield.
And on that play, they had one of the Summit players lying on the ball. So they ruled that they were possessing on top of the ball. That's going to be a violation, giving another face-off win credited to Westfield here, and another opportunity to retain possession on offense.
Rittendale gives off for McLane. McLane so dangerous behind the net, marked tightly by Finn McTurnan. As they swing it out to Nick Bond. Nick Bond with the opening goal, his 26th of the season, giving Westfield a 1-0 lead as we play with just under 7:15 to go. Here from Clark, New Jersey, the Union County title game, the 6th straight year that these two teams meet in the county final. A chance here and a shot whistle wide. It hit McLane behind the net. The shot by Nick Bond.
Want to talk about velocity and shots? And thank goodness that McLane is okay, because that had some whip on it. That crank shot that went high of the crossbar hit his teammate, caromed off him, and he also retained possession for his side.
Warno marked by Jackson Tyler, number 22 for Summit. So a tough assignment for Tyler this evening, as Westfield with a 1-0 lead and possession as we approach 6.5 to play here in the first. A cool, crisp, beautiful evening for lacrosse here in Clark, New Jersey. As Nick Bond draws the double, has it taken away. Momentary ground ball there for James Waldron, but it's recovered by Matt Rittendale. And Westfield has it right back.
That was a savvy pickup there. That's like the walking the dog move, as he had that one-handed low cradle, keeping it with possession on that near sideline. Huge ground ball pickup for the Blue Devils.
They try to send it up again for Bond. Pass a little too hot, and it's going to go the way of Summit.
Now a chance for the Hilltoppers to respond after a long offensive possession for Westfield a couple of moments ago.
This is Greg Moeller getting his first touch of the game for the Hilltoppers. Summit again 12-2 coming into this contest. And that loss in 2015 in the county championship, snapping a 21-game winning streak. As you get an early look at shots on goal, Westfield doubling up Summit. As it's forced out by Jack Shark, fighting for the ground ball. And it's taken away by Westfield, and Westfield off the defensive play by Nick Gibson. And a shot, and it just hit the pipe. Rebound, they score. As Westfield takes a 2-0 lead.
Unbelievable finish there for Westfield, and again, credit the transition for the Westfield defense. They won the ground ball battle that they needed to back in their own end and brought it down in transition. Taking a rocket shot.
And a timeout is called by Summit as Westfield has opened up a 2-0 lead here in the first quarter. Westfield and Summit meeting earlier this season, a game that was tied at the half, but then Summit pouring it on in this late in the second. As we get a look at the previous meetings between Westfield and Summit.
Can't get any closer than that, Sid, the last couple of years. As overtime, plenty the last couple of years for both sides. And then Summit prior to that, dominating.
This is last year's county championship game, a dramatic ending. that goal tied it up, a fluke goal for Westfield, and they would go on to win in double OT.
Unbelievable. As you see here again, Devin McLane became the hero with 1 second left, propelling his team to back-to-back county titles. And you want to talk about a miracle finish, having your goalie scoring the tying goal to force overtime, and then Devin McLane bringing home the hardware. What a series these two teams have been putting together.
And talk about the entertainment value we've seen in these Union County tournaments between these two teams. A double OT finish, a triple OT finish, and prior to that, Summit winning 3 dramatic games in their own right. It's been quite a spectacle, but right now, Westfield with the early 2-0 advantage.
And that's why they definitely are playing this game under the lights. They want the biggest crowd possible to play witness to what these two programs have been putting on display the last couple of years. One of the hottest games and one of the hottest tickets to come to in high school lacrosse, the Union County Final.
Dombrowski, number 11, with the ground ball for Westfield. Opportunity here, and a shot wide by McLane.
And McLane was being over-aggressive there. He took that shot, and that's a make or die move, because then when he missed it, there was no backup as he went in transition. Taking that shot, trying to beat the goalie to the opposite side low, but then no backup. That's as good as a turnover there for Westfield.
The second goal of the game scored by Jake Engelke, number 21 for Westfield. So Summit with possession, down 2-0. As we play here in the first quarter from Arthur L. Johnson High School in Clark, New Jersey. Sadiq Faruqi and Dan Long, glad to have you aboard on Verizon Fios One Sports. Part of Verizon Fios One Sports continuing coverage of New Jersey high school lacrosse. Jake Engelke, in case you're wondering, Engelke scoring his 3rd of the season. He usually wears number 33, tonight wearing number 21. As Summit, shot wide by Chris Fowler, backed up there by Harry Kilkowski.
Well, the number change certainly worked wonders here in the county final, getting his 3rd goal of the year, and first with number 21 on his back.
So a turnover here by Summit. As you get a look at Engelke.
Already, Sid, 4 turnovers for Summit here in the early goings of the first quarter.
So a timeout is called by Westfield with 3:21 remaining here in the first quarter. And Westfield with a 2-0 lead. You know, we were talking about this off air. Summit, what they have really established their reputation for is that zone defense, the ability to slow down a game. What has Westfield done right here in the first quarter?
Well, you had that first goal by Bonds that he was able to really bully one home from distance, and you can't do anything if you're the zone and how far out that shot was. You just kind of hope that your goalie will be able to track it down and make that save from distance. And the second one, in transition, off a carom, off the crossbar, and then the rebound finished by Engelke got them the 2 goals. You need to beat them in transition and all-settled situations.
Summit dominance in this season as you get a look at their amazing resume over the years.
9 seasons, 177 victories over that span, 2 TOC titles, 6 overall state championships, and the number 1 defense. Defense wins championships. That's the old adage, and that has proven true for the Hilltopper program.
And Dan, of course, you talk about that historic 63-game winning streak by Summit, amassed 3 years ago. This season, 12-2, averaging just over 9 goals a game.
And look at that number again. Only allowing just a shade under 4 goals per game. That's the best goals against average in the entire state. They're going to be right there at the very end again. They're going to be considered favorites to win their state title, as well as getting a chance back at the TOC ranks.
Jim Davidson now in his 19th season at the helm for Summit, one of the true establishments of New Jersey lacrosse, inducted into the New Jersey Lacrosse Hall of Fame back in 2007. As Summit trails 2-0 here to Westfield as we approach 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Again, an absolutely picture-perfect night, Dan, for lacrosse here in New Jersey.
Under the lights, showcase game. Great start to this one for Westfield. That's how you could really cause problems for this team that's known for their zone defense if they fall into an early hole and are maybe forced to come out of it a bit.
Jake Warnow forced on the outside, gives it back for Nick Bond. Bond fires it low, and a beautiful save there by Will Vinton.
As he tried to go to his left side again, that looks to be his favorable hand. A split dodge up top by Bond, and boy, he can shoot it, and that time Vinton makes the stop.
Will Vinton, one of the true athletes on this team, a star ice hockey player as well, and you get to see some of those hockey goalie moves there on that last save. And Summit possesses now with just over 2 minutes to play, as Westfield really getting a dominant start on shots.
And that's the key to success for Westfield. They need to garner the shots. They need to keep on peppering the cage. They can't go against what they really got them here. They're an aggressive team, a team that scores just under 9 goals a game. But they have to keep on peppering Summit and keep it on that other end.
Under 2 minutes to play, Summit possessing down by 2. As we play in the first quarter, Union County Championship game, Summit and Westfield. Westfield has won the last 2. Prior to that, 3 wins in a row for Summit. Great defense there by Westfield.
As McManus was trying to curl around the crease to the far side, now they have Kilkowski up top in almost a midfield position with the ball right now, looking for that mismatch.
This is Kilkowski trying to take Patrick McElroy one-on-one. Now swings it to the outside.
Off-ball movement inside is going to be a must for Summit.
As Johnson fires it home from distance, his 11th of the season, an absolute rocket gets Summit on the board.
Summit was doing an effective job of moving the rock around to the perimeter. Now finally setting it up. A one-on-one matchup. Good job of protecting the stick. Switching it over to the left and going with a shot that kind of caught McCauley in between, whether it was going to be a high shot or going to be a bouncer low. Nice finish and placement there by Jack Johnson on the shot. Summit pulls to within 1.
Junior midfielder Jack Johnson gets Summit on the board with just over a minute to go here in the first quarter. As looking to scoop up the ground ball for Westfield is Owen Pribiliski. And a procedure on Westfield, so it'll be Summit ball after scoring the goal.
Missed opportunity there for the Blue Devils. They need to vacuum up those ground balls every opportunity they get, whether it be trying to clear the ball or in that time on those face-offs in the wings. And Pribilski, who's bound for Villanova and a captain for this Blue Devils side, is going to be upset with himself on that misplay.
Kilkowski for Summit. 30 goals, 27 assists coming into this contest. Drawing the one-on-one assignment of Kyle Dombrowski. Now Pershey. Pershey turning, firing, and one missing it wide. Backed up there by Kilkowski.
They've been trying to isolate that far side, and that time isolating off the dodge from behind at X.
Kilkowski going right at Dombrowski, trying to free himself up. Approaching 20 seconds to play. Johnson, the goal scorer, gives off for Moeller. Moeller, the roll dodge, firing it wide. Backed up again by Summit.
Nice dodge there to the cage, but also even better recovery defense and having a teammate backing up the defensive midi, Shirk, who had got him beaten on the field.
Under 10 seconds. Kilkowski trying to get it out in front. Pass is picked off by Colin Freer, and that's how the first quarter of play will come to an end. An impressive start for Westfield, jumping out to a 2-0 lead. But coming up big in goal for Summit is Will Vinton, as Jack Johnson gets one back for Summit, and we'll go to the second quarter with Westfield up 2-1. We'll return on Verizon Fios 1 Sports.
Where will the next generation of scientists come from? Right here. Kane University.
Back at Arthur L. Johnson High School for the start of the second quarter, Westfield with a 2-1 lead. Dan, Westfield coming into this game with a deceptive 6-5 record this season.
They're maybe the scariest 6-5 team in all of New Jersey, averaging 8.5 goals a game, 8 goals allowed. So they're always going to be in nip-tuck affairs, but they always test themselves against the very best in and outside of their conference. And look, they always peak at the right time. They get to the finals. They get championships. They always trend in the right direction come mid to late May.
Westfield with a 2-1 lead. Dan, what impressed you most about what you saw from Westfield in the first quarter?
The sustained time on offense and also throwing up 8 shots there in the first quarter. Against a zone defense that always is out to frustrate opponents, they held serve and dictated the tempo against Summit.
Procedure on Summit, so Westfield will have the first possession as Griffin Aslanian will navigate into the offensive third, setting up another offensive possession for the Blue Devils. 2-1 they lead as we open play in the second.
And this is always the beauty of these county competitions. You know each other so well that you're not going to be afraid of the opponent lined up against you. Normally, when you're a lacrosse team and you're going onto the field, you might have lost the game already when you see that Summit name on the jerseys as they're marching onto the field together. Westfield, they're not afraid at all, and they've had the back-to-back run at county championships. They love to thrive in this opportunity against the Hilltoppers.
Dangerous moment there as a pass out in front. It's going to be a crease violation, however, on Westfield, so Summit will have possession.
They were looking for a bang-bang passing play connecting with the man on the crease, but crease violation negates that opportunity, and it wasn't even a shot on goal.
Whistle blows.
Looks like it might be a violation again against Summit, as they have had all sorts of problems with their substitution packages here, with a couple of violations that have cost them possession of the ball. Westfield made them pay in the first time around in the first quarter. Let's see if the Blue Devils do that again.
So off the illegal substitution, Westfield with possession, as Dan mentioned. Merely seconds after that happened in the first quarter, they would score their second goal off the first frame. And now with possession, a 2-1 lead. Under 10:45 to play here in the second quarter. Jake Warno Jr. Now Aslanian. Aslanian fires from distance wide. No backup for Westfield. And there is Will Vuitton. That's the second time that's happened, though this one was off a Stain offensive setup.
Remarkable hustle there from the goalie Vuitton, and that's unacceptable if you're Westfield and head coach Patrick Toohey. That's a hustle play that your attackman cannot get caught sleeping, and that's now the second time here in the first half, and it's so costly.
Jackson Tyler on the clear for Summit as the Hilltoppers with possession, looking to reclaim their Union County Championship for the first time in 3 years. As we highlighted earlier, Westfield winning in double OT last year, triple OT the year before. This is Moeller.
Here's what they're trying to have behind the cage, as it's a defensive midi now covering. And that's what you're always looking for as an offensive team. You're looking for that mismatch, and a lot of times it's trying to identify where the defensive midi is. Obviously, it's easier for a shooter to get your hands free into space to take the shots if you have a short stick on you rather than a long pole poking up and lifting.
Kilkowski has it taken away, dispossessed. And Westfield will try for the clear here. Excellent play defensively there. It looked to be Pat McElroy. And another turnover here, unforced error. Jack McCauley, the goalie, disagrees with the call, but another unforced error there for Westfield.
And McCauley was very lucky because as he's protesting the call, the referee could have whistled to have the resumption of play, and the net was wide open at that point, but McCauley was trying to say that the ball was still in play and not on the boundary line behind the net in the blue marked end zone.
McCauley now, this is Johnson. Johnson with the goal earlier in this half for Summit. Corey McManus, this is the matchup to look for here as he draws Kyle Dombrowski one-on-one.
Both players might be matching up for 4 years to come afterwards as they are going to be playing in the Big East Conference. Dombrowski going to Denver, McManus to Villanova.
And a ground ball by Pat McElroy had a good defensive play about a minute ago as McElroy on the clear for Westfield.
Great hustle by McElroy, just chugging up that far side. And that just picks up the whole unit. When you have a long pole who could bring that pass and have an easy clear against a team like Summit, that gives you the momentum you need.
8 turnovers for Summit here in the first half.
That is not a recipe for success, especially for a power program as the Hilltoppers are.
Only 6 shots, Dan, here in the first half for Summit.
When you have more turnovers than shots, like I said, you should consider yourself lucky to be down only 1 here in the first half of the county final.
Nick Bond. Nolan getting his first touch. Ball trickling towards the end line, and it's going to be Westfield ball. They're going to say it was nicked by a Summit defender.
So is a good bounce there for Westfield as their player was diving to the end line thinking that, okay, that was just a normal pass and that was going to be a turnover even if it was the closest one to the boundary, because that only affects shots. The referee, to his credit, called out a deflection early on in the possession to the dismay of the Summit faithful assembled here.
Pretty vocal Summit faithful here. They travel well. Of course, this is the neutral site here at Arthur L. Johnson High School in Clark, New Jersey. Nick Nolan set up for Bond, and he deflects it off a defender's helmet. Far out of bounds, and chasing after it there is McLane.
So right now, if you're taking count, that's 2 helmets that Bond has hit with his shots. One of his teammate and now a defender in front.
McLane, good defense behind the net there by Finn McTurnan. As Westfield almost pressured into a turnover there.
They just want to settle things down. Know your weapons, know who you are. Don't try to push things and be over-aggressive just because you're enjoying a 2-1 lead. Work the possession, find the openings, and find that mismatch that your coach has been talking about pregame.
They try to find Jake Warnow. Had trouble cleanly picking it up, but now over to Nick Bond.
And a lot of times with Summit games, you're not going to have stall warnings called against other teams because they stay in their zone.
They try to find Rittendale down low. Excellent defense. And the ground ball collected by Pat Tully of Summit. Flings it up ahead. They try to complete the clear through Waldron. And a timeout called by Summit. So a great play there by Waldron. And then the timeout called by Jim Davidson, and Summit will have possession.
And an interesting way to get this timeout in possession. Garnered a little kick into the stick of McManus. The New York Red Bulls would be proud of that display of footwork here on the field. And Coach Davidson sensing, let's settle things down, let me call a timeout, and let's change the pace a bit to our liking. That's a savvy timeout from a Hall of Fame head coach.
6:17 remaining here in the second quarter. Westfield with a 2-1 lead in the 2017 Union County Championship game on Verizon Fios Sports from Arthur L. Johnson High School in Clark, New Jersey. Sadiq Faruqi, Dan Long, great crowd on hand here for Westfield and for Summit, and they are being treated to a great first half of play here. Dan, much to what you said earlier in the first half, Summit is a team that likes to keep the score low, play that defensive zone. Westfield with a 2-1 lead, but the scoring has been silent here in the second quarter.
And also both teams starting to get a little sloppy. You saw those turnover numbers that have been plaguing Summit here in the first half. Westfield really hasn't been able to get a couple of shots off here in the second. They've been trying to force feed the crease or get a couple opportunities out in front. Or a shot by Nick Bond going off the helmet of a Summit defender, sacrificing himself in front of his netminder. Now we're going to see how Summit responds here after they had a goal in the first quarter. Now really trying to maintain a little more possession on offense and get that high-powered attack that we've seen in the last couple of games flowing again.
Get a good look there at Corey McManus, who was the recipient of that kick pass right before Summit called the timeout. So now Summit, Dan, out of the timeout on offense.
Now we'll see how they're going to try to isolate McManus here on the near side wing. Star-studded matchup again. That might look to favor more options for Summit off the ball. A lot of tensions being played to McManus.
This is Moeller accelerating, and the pass is a little too far for Fowler, and that's going to be the 9th turnover for Summit in the first half.
And that's a nightmare for Coach Davison. After a timeout, you work the ball around. You don't even get a shot on cage. You just throw an errant pass away. Got to clean these things up. That's just an attention to detail and more of a focus that his team needs here in the county final.
Jack Shirk, the senior midfielder, on the clear for Westfield. So the Blue Devils with a 2-1 lead, under 5.5 to play here in the first half.
And let's make note of that. Westfield has looked very good at clearing the ball so far here in the first half. Not a lot of trouble getting it past midfield and getting into the offensive end.
These two teams met earlier in the season, a game Summit won by the final of 5-2. Devin McLane surveying his options. McLane with 27 assists on the season, a great facilitator from behind the net. This is Bond going one-on-one with Christian Greer.
Want to see if Westfield will move it around the offense again and try to get it back to Bond, especially if he has that short stick on him.
McLane out for Griffin Aslanian, going one-on-one again with Greer.
Patient offense here for Westfield. They just want to set things up, make this defense slide and move.
Warnow with the long shot and a save by Vuitton.
Interesting save there. Vuitton went down to his knees and kept the stick up to make the save, his second save of his first half.
And the clear for Steven Sager. And now Summit will look to take over again on offense. Correction, that's Jack Bonomo, number 36. As Bonomo going against Nicholas Gibson, the senior defender. And now Summit will restart this possession through Jack Johnson, who has the only tally of the game for Summit, under 4 to play here in the first half.
So Moeller comes back onto the field to complete the first offensive midfield line. Good change there by Summit. No problems from the sideline.
Corey McManus. Moeller.
Now here's Moeller going up against a shorty.
Shirk drawing the one-on-one assignment. Johnson out for McTurnan. 11 goals on the season for Eamon McTurnan. McTurnan firing wide, but the backup is there for Summit.
Good slide there by Nicholas Gibson, the long stick midi, number 3 for Westfield. He took it upon himself to match up against Eamon McTurnan, drive him down that far alley, and forcing him across his body to shoot it wide of the cage.
Summit faithful getting into this one, trying to will their team to tie this game one up, and almost doing so there as McTurnan just fires it wide.
That was a great catch and a high pass inside, and all in one fluid motion. He got the shot off just a little too high of McCauley, who's stalking inside the pipes.
Now Kilkowski. Kilkowski marked tightly there by Dombrowski. Now guarded by McElroy. They swing it out to Moeller. Moeller sizing up Jack Shirk.
Always moving around inside is the deadly McManus. You leave him for a second, he's going to be open for that bang-bang play.
McManus, low shot, and he scores! Dan, you called it, and McManus delivers the game-tying goal.
It was just a matter of time. You saw number 14 built like a fire hydrant, moving around the outside of the offense, then finally to the wing. Less than a second. Took it upon himself to unleash the worm burner shot. Really not rising that high off the ground and bouncing that run right by the feet of McCauley. Corey McManus, 31st goal of the game, and we are deadlocked. 31st goal of the season, excuse me. We're deadlocked at 2-2. Great finish there by the future Villanova Wildcat.
Great finish off a great offensive possession for Summit.
Again, patient. They're not trying to force things, just like Westfield. Just move it around. Both teams, their defenses, they're as advertised. They're going to make you work. Don't try to force something and become something that you're not.
As Pershey pushes the ball forward, but it's collected there by Westfield's number 10, Pat McElroy. I believe that's going to be his second ground ball of the first half, as Griffin Aslanian possesses, and a timeout is called by Westfield. So a smart timeout there, as Aslanian was headed out of bounds, but Westfield will possess after allowing the goal.
Great timeout there from Coach Toohey. He saw disaster happening. His long pole was trying to clear it himself. McElroy against 4 white-clad players from Summit. And then Westfield was able to have backup from Aslanian to complete that fourth face-off win of this first half. And that's what's keeping possession and Westfield here in this game. We're all deadlocked at 2-2, but possession is key for both sides. And that face-off X is going to prove to be the difference maker.
Patrick Tui has to be thrilled with what he's seen here in the first half. Now in his 5th year at the helm for Westfield.
And it's always extra special for a coach if he's representing his alma mater as the head coach as well, which he's doing. 2014 Group 4 Coach of the Year. Like we've said, even though they're 6-5, he always gets them peaking at this time of the year. And because they've played such a hard schedule against teams like Chatham, like Del Barton, obviously against Summit, you're playing against some of the best top 10 talent in the state and also in the nation. So when it comes state playoff time, you're ready to make a long, sustained run deep in your bracket.
Coach Tui playing collegiately at Roanoke, ending his college career early to serve the United States military in Iraq. As you get a good look at the Westfield faithful. And Dan, you said it, these are two programs with such great lacrosse traditions, and you're seeing that here this evening in both fan bases, vocal, loud, and you're seeing a great product on the field tonight.
Gotta love the rivalry. Biggest stage here, the county championship under the lights. A beautiful campus here to treat us all to this one. And if it lives up to the hype of the last couple of years, we're going to be very, very fortunate between these two sides.
So out of the timeout, Westfield possesses, game tied at 2. Westfield at 1 point had a 2-0 lead in the first quarter as we approach 2 minutes to play here in the first half, as Jake Engelke had the game's second goal. Now for Aslanian.
And again, I would try to isolate Bond, who's stepping back all the way past the 35-yard line right now. He's got a short stick defender trying to face guard him, get him moving and get him into space. I want him going one-on-one dodge, even if a long pole is sliding behind. I'll take my chances with his cannon of a shot.
Warnow gives off for McLane. Bounces it over to Rittendale. And now Bond. Engelke double teamed, shovels it off. Bond trying to free himself up. Bond firing it wide. But there in the backup is Jake Engelke.
Again, there's your shot from Bonds. If you're Nick Bond, maybe you want to cradle a little less and get that shot off a little quicker, because not only is it allowing the defense to set up, but it's also allowing Vuitton to maybe take a little more time to read the shot out of your stick.
Jake Warnow, 20 goals on the season, a midfielder for Westfield. Bond double. Gives off for McLane. McLane fires and scores! Oh, what a solo effort there by Devin McLane, and Westfield regains the lead.
What a finish there by McLane, and credit goes to Nick Bonds, who also saw the double team coming, gave it over to that side where the double team came from, and McLane the little up and under move. As Olay, the Matador defense, as McLane allows the defender to run straight at him in McTurnan. Once he fell down, he was just really one-on-one with a goalie, even used another Summit defender as a screener and tucked that in near side pipe. Great finish there by Devin McLane, the hero from last year.
His 21st of the season, as we mentioned, also 27 assists as Tanner Devin, the junior, wins the face-off for Westfield. Another face-off win, Dan, for Westfield.
Huge. Another one for the Blue Devils. And that will afford them a chance to maybe run out this clock in the first half, which would allow them to take this lead into halftime and maybe even double things up.
They're going for a goal, a shot, and a save by Vuitton off a shot by Nick Bond. As a ground ball is collected by, looked like, Charlie Collins.
That was a beautiful, if you want to do the hockey analogy for Vuitton, who's also a hockey player, that was a kick save and a beaut on Nick Bond.
Summit on the other end, bouncing it wide, and it's going to go the other way. Award called on Summit, and Westfield, with time winding down here in this first half, will have an opportunity to perhaps just fling it down the field and go for the lacrosse version of a Hail Mary, but they're going to elect to play it safe.
And it's not like we've seen this before here, the same field, the Hail Mary that ended in a goal.
And flinging it the other way is Owen Pribiliski as the first half of play comes to an end. A low-scoring yet exciting first half of lacrosse as Westfield will take a 3-2 lead into the first half break. Westfield leads 3-2 on Verizon Fios 1 Sports.
The weather can make a mess of your weekday commute and ruin your weekend plans. In New Jersey, there's one place to turn to get your accurate expert forecast. Fios 1 News and our exclusive Weather on the One. See why more and more people get their weather from Fios 1 News.
So Stomach down by 3. This is the 6th straight year these two teams have met in the Union County Final. The last two have gone to Westfield in dramatic fashion, a double OT win and a triple OT win. The 3 prior to that went to Summit. A procedure is going to be on Summit, and Westfield with another face-off win. They'll have the second half's first possession.
And Sam Zanelli, number 23, the face-off man, the FOGO expert for Summit, incredulous at the official after being called for the procedure call there. Westfield winning their 6th face-off of this game and giving them an opportunity to extend this lead in the early goings of the second half.
So Westfield, as they did for much of the first half, Dan, swinging the ball around that Summit zone.
And a couple times we've seen there when Nick Bond, number 20, gets it in his stick. And if he's tried to initiate a dodge from up top or the wing, that will draw a slide even from the zone. That's going to lead to opportunities for McLane and company.
Warnow patiently cradling, gives for Aslanian. They go behind the net for McLane. McLane so dangerous behind the net, 27 assists on the season. Now Bond, hearing the boos from the Summit crowd. Bond finding it down low to Rittendale, and no goal. Crease violation on Matt Rittendale. No goal for Westfield, but a beautiful play there nonetheless by Bond.
Once again, Bond draws the attention and founds an open teammate. But for Rittendale, you have to know where you are at all times on the field. That's a huge mental error for Westfield. They should be up 4-2. And not knowing your surroundings cost the Blue Devils an opportunity there for a huge 4th goal against Summit.
Christian Greer on the clear for Summit. And now Jack Johnson. Goal in the first half. And Summit off the crease violation for Westfield. They possess as Johnson sets up shop for the Hilltoppers. 12-2 coming into this game. Only losses to Del Barton and Chatham. Shot on goal, just whistled wide.
And that's almost the identical spot where Johnson scored in the first half when he was able to bring the dodge from the far side and bring it back up top. And this was a look at the other way. Great feed, great catch and finish, but again, you have to know Rittendale. You have to know where you are. Great call by the official.
Kilkowski, nice feed, and McTurnan is robbed. McCauley with a big save for Westfield. His first of the game.
Feeding inside and off the pipe on the far side. The goalie's best friend. And then it carried all the way out to midfield, and a great hustle play by Westfield.
Big shot by Warnow and a save by Vuitton.
And another hustle play now on the other side by the Summit defense. Vuitton has been great at coming out and winning possession and beating the backup. That time it was a long pole, diving, throwing everything towards that boundary line to win the possession for the clear.
That looked like Pat Tully, Dan, with the hustle play for Summit, winning possession. And now the ride by Westfield. But Tully breaks it, and a clear for Summit.
And if you're Coach Chewy, you're going to be stressing to your team, especially your attack. You cannot fall asleep on me, guys. You have to know where your defensemen are at all times. You can't be caught ball watching. And when they do that and they stand like statues, that allows Vuitton, the goalie, or in that situation, the long pole defender, in McTurnan and Tully to race to the end line and beat past their man. You have to win the little battles here even if it's not a shot on cage to win the county title.
Thompson fresh into the game. His pass is knocked away. Pat McElroy again, a big defensive play for Westfield. And now a fight for the loose ball. And it's won by Kyle Dombrowski. A big round ball for the Blue Devils.
What a clamp down on the man on the crease for Summit, handcuffing him, forcing the turnover, and then a great clear there by Dombrowski.
Almost offsides for Westfield, but nonetheless, the Blue Devils now settling into their offensive formation as Warnow and Bond play catch.
And that's where, if you're Westfield, Sid, you know throughout the course of the season how talented you have. Great defensive players behind you who always get the green light to clear it up the field. So when you see Dombrowski coming down the near side, if you're a midi, you're going back and you're being the midi back on the far side of the field to make sure you don't turn it over with an offsides call. That's just knowing your personnel.
Devin McLane finds a four now. A big shot and a save by Vuitton. Another big save by Will Vuitton, his 5th of the game.
Saw that all the way because his defense was spread out. Great job there by Vuitton of making the high save and preventing that 4th goal for Westfield.
Will Vuitton absolutely standing on his head this evening, keeping Summit in this one. It is a 1-goal game, and the Hilltoppers with possession.
Vuitton, only a junior, already verbally committed to play Big East Lacrosse at the same place where McManus will roam down at Villanova.
Fowler. Now for Jackson Tyler. Low-scoring affair here in the 2017 Union County Championship game between Summit and Westfield. These two teams have been on a collision course all season long, and for the 6th straight year meet in the county finals. This is Moeller, motoring around the edge. Now Kilkowski.
McManus is lurking on the crease now to the far wing. Have to see that maybe Summit will try to get him free with a couple pick plays inside.
Under 6.5 to play here in the 3rd quarter. This is Tyler, roll dodge, pulling it back, and gives off for Fowler.
Great play by Gibson, the long stick midi there for Westfield, of putting his stick out, preventing that shot down the near side alley for Summit.
They go behind for Kilkowski. Kilkowski going against a long stick.
He's been the quarterback of this offense, and they've done an exceptional job in Westfield shutting down number 15, Kilkowski.
Another long sustained possession here, Dan.
Patience is a virtue, especially on the lacrosse field, and Coach Davison, he knows that his defense was staunch in the first half and getting the opportunity shut down for Westfield here in the second half. If the offense could start being efficient, then Westfield is going to be in all sorts of trouble with a well-oiled machine that is Summit.
Still no stall warnings called by the refs. An awfully long sustained possession, Dan, here by Summit.
And that is correct, because it is a surprise, and you might have to think that the referees are going to start to say they're not trying to really attack.
And there it is.
And there's the stall. You don't really expect that the other side, because of Summit playing deep in their zone. They're allowing teams to possess it for a long period of time.
Kilkowski with the stall warning on. Kilkowski trying to free himself up. Now some more urgency, and the ball's thrown away. And it's going to be Westfield ball.
As the ball left that boundary there that was created in the box outside the 30-yard line, that allowed the defense to get some help for Westfield in that errant pass. That triggered the stall warning and the turnover there for Summit.
Dan, elaborate on the low-scoring games that Summit is so typical, or these kind of games that are so typical to Summit in terms of them holding opponents down but playing a low-scoring style.
If you look at the box score for Summit Lacrosse, you might think that you're actually looking at the box scores of Summit Baseball. They win by baseball scores. They've won 3-2 against Morristown. They beat Westfield 5-2 earlier this season. They keep teams in the game offensively and defensively because they play a patient style, low-scoring lacrosse. The thing is, historically, they know how to win those tight, low-scoring games, so they're not going to be scrambled right now against Westfield.
Rittendale in the backup for Bond. Bond again hearing the boos from the Summit contingents here. Great defense by Summit. Collecting it is Devin McLane. Double teamed. He rolls out of it. Finds men out in front, and they score. Beautiful setup. And Warnow with the finish.
How did Devin McLane do that? He did the Houdini act of disappearing, as it looked like he was going to be engulfed by a double team of sorts here from Summit, not giving him any space whatsoever. A different double team comes to harass him, and he still cradles his way out of harm, gets by Pat Tully, an acclaimed defenseman, and then with the head up, the field vision finds a teammate lurking on the far pipe, and a great finish there inside by Warnow. And that was just all Devin McLane, showcasing his playmaking and highlight reel ability there from X.
And that's the second time he's done that. He had a highlight goal in the first half, and then a spectacular play to evade the defenders and find Jake Warnow, and Warnow with the clinical finish.
And again, it was so impressive, Sid, because he had his head down when the double team came, and Westfield was able to convert, and now they get another face-off win.
So another procedure on Summit, as Westfield nearly doubling up Summit in shots.
Now still with just a little over 3.5 minutes left to go here in the third. Your Summit, you're only down by 2. You don't have to be over aggressive and come out of your zone, but that's definitely going to be in the back of Coach Davison's mind. When they've come against these teams that they've struggled against, they've had to be forced to come out of their shell, especially if Westfield tries to hold on to possession.
Warnow with the last goal, giving it back to the man who had the assist on that goal. And now Nick Nolan, senior attack. They go out in front again. Bond the shot, and it's just whistled wide, but back up there by McLane.
What ball movement there. McLane, quick cross crease pass, skipping that up top, and Bonds with a blind shot, as that's why it went high and wide. But that's a dangerous duo there between McLane and Bond.
McLane 28 assists on the season. Warnow, Bond firing, and a save by Vuitton.
That was a huge save by Vuitton, because again, Bond put everything he had in that one, had plenty of room to uncork it, and Vuitton making the save and keeping his team in this game.
Clear for Summit, as they now face a 2-goal deficit with under 2.5 to play here in the third quarter.
And you knew that was a special one, too, because when Bond came off the field, Sid, right underneath us in the press box, he was being consoled by a couple of assistant coaches. How was that goal kept out of the net by Vuitton? That's what he was wondering.
Well, Vuitton now with 6 saves this evening, really doing his part to keep Summit, and doing the same on the other end is Jack McCauley.
Right in the blink of an eye, getting that opportunity was McManus. As we look back again, Bond uncorking that one and getting that with the head of his stick. Was Vuitton. That would have been a goal for sure, location-wise. And then the other side, McCauley saying, anything you can do, I can do better, making a big stop on McManus, who then got the rebound to himself and fired it wide.
This is McTurnan. Back behind the net for Fowler. Approaching 1:30 to play here in the third quarter. Westfield with a 4-2 lead in this, the Union County Championship game. Fowler, roll dodge, trying to free himself up. Looking for a man out in front. Defended tightly by Owen Privoliski, the senior defender.
And he did a great job of forcing Fowler from away from going topside, as well as a question mark dodge. No shot uncorked there for Fowler. That's why Pribylski is bound for Villanova. Villanova doing very well recruiting-wise with these two programs for the next couple of years.
Kilkowski, under a minute to play. Summit looking to cut this deficit to 1. Jackson Tyler shot wide, but Kilkowski is there on the backup. 40 seconds remaining.
And coming into this one, if you said it's 4-2 game, you'd assume that Summit would be leading 4-2 with their defense, but it's Westfield's defense that has been the story in this game so far.
This is Kilkowski. Turning, firing, and a save by McCauley. Another big save by Jack McCauley.
Now we'll see if Westfield can get that clear going, and they do. They've made it look easy all game long.
Time winding down. Great clear by Westfield. Under 15 to play in the third. Bond looking to free himself up. Girl dodging against two defenders and just whistled it wide, but it's backed up. What a play there by Nick Bond, and Aslani is there with the backup. Time winding down. A bouncer on net, and Vuitton is equal to the task. As time runs out in the third quarter, Will Vuitton helps Summit survive another flurry by Westfield. And we are going to go to the fourth quarter with Westfield leading 4-2. What a game. We'll be back to the start of the fourth quarter here on Verizon Fios Sports.
Your morning commute can be a challenge, and the evening rush even worse. Fios One News real-time cutting-edge traffic technology keeps you moving in New Jersey.
So it shouldn't affect things quite as much.
Fios One News, only on Verizon Fios TV.
Back here at Arthur L. Johnson High School in Clark, New Jersey for the start of the fourth quarter as Westfield holds a 4-2 lead. Also on this game was the girls' championship of Union County. It was between Oak Knoll and Summit.
This field has certainly been the setting for some exciting games. And then starting off as Oak Knoll propels itself to an 8-3 lead at this point, thanks to Annabelle Zambrowski. But then, with the heart of a champion, fighting right back is Summit as they got it tied up after trailing at 1 point 9-5, a couple minutes left. But then Diana Kelly became the hero and brought Oak Knoll their county championship, and as she was quoted as saying, breaking the county curse and bringing home that hardware back to Oak Knoll in an exciting 10-9 finish for the Royals.
How about that? Oak Knoll snapping Summit's 8-year winning streak in the Union County Championship game. Back at this one with Westfield leading 4-2, and a big reason has been face-off, 7 face-off wins for Westfield.
Recipe for success. The Blue Devils win on the face-offs, have turned it over less, and have been efficient in shooting. That's why they lead here 4-2, trying to go for the three-peat as county champs.
Loose ball fought for and collected by Owen Pribeliski, and a shot on goal, and they score, and once again it is Devin McLane. His second of the game, and it's now 5-2 for Westfield.
McLane, a flair for the dramatic. And that was another face-off won by Westfield, their 6th consecutive win at the face-off X. Unsettled situation, which is a juicy opportunity when that defense can't set up for Summit. And then McLane knew where to deposit that one as he went low between the legs of Vuitton. And wow, Devin McLane, 22nd goal this season, 2nd tonight. He just is a big-time player, especially in the county finals. And when the lights are brightest, as they are right now, number 9 comes out to shine.
Devin McLane providing highlight moment after highlight moment. Had a spectacular goal in the first, a spectacular assist. And Summit finally wins a face-off, and they're going to need more of that if they want to get back into this one. They are down 5-2. Early here in the fourth as McLane with the early salvo giving Westfield a 3-goal lead.
And again, before that holding call was called against Westfield, that was 6 consecutive wins for the Blue Devils at the face-off X. Summit can't get back in the game if they don't have possession. Now it's of vital importance. You know that your defense is keeping you in the game, especially with Vuitton, but your offense really has to step up to the plate here and deliver a couple of goals to get right back in it.
Do we see some more urgency now in these offensive sets by Summit, which really have been very, very disciplined throughout the course of this game?
You saw at the tail end of the third quarter, Sid, that they were starting to be much more aggressive, trying to get off a lot more shots quickly and attack the cage. They're going to need to do that again.
A bounce pass looking in the direction of Corey McManus. Had trouble fielding it, but he does just that. Keeping the possession alive for Summit.
Looked like they were trying to feature Eamon McTurnan on the crease as he's coming off the field right now. The pass went by him, and McManus was fortunate enough to be on that far wing.
This is Kilkowski plowed down by Patrick McElroy, and it's going to be the game's first penalty with 10:28 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Kilkowski was trying to really start this offense going and attacking the cage on that far crease. He decided he was going to go instead of just being a facilitator. Got body slammed down to the turf there with the possession, drawing the first extra man opportunity of the game for both sides. But if you're Westfield, you have to be happy that your defense is remaining aggressive as you look at McElroy coming off the field, but that's a bang-bang play. Sometimes if you have a push and it's legally done so with the numbers in front of you and you get him in the crease, that's a crease violation. That time it was more because it was from the side that Summit will draw the penalty and the man-up opportunity.
So the first EMO of the game goes to Summit. And what will they do here? Down by 3. Under 10:15 remaining in the fourth. The penalty on Westfield's Patrick McElroy. And now Moeller. As the penalty is set to expire. And teams are even. So no shots on the EMO. They find out in front is McManus, and he scores. His second of the game, and it is a 2-goal game.
Even though that technically will not count as a man-up goal, that could have easily have been one because they still have the numbers advantage. Westfield was just getting a man onto the field at that time. Cross crease pass diagonally from up top. Found that hard pass, get through a couple of sticks, and then the sure-handed McManus not only catching it in time and depositing it up top, but also tiptoeing the crease, which Westfield was not able to do earlier in the third quarter. That's why McManus is a big-time player, and that's a huge goal for the Summit Hilltoppers.
That's a great call, Dan. You saw him catch it and just tiptoe, trying to stay off the crease. Great pass there by Jack Johnson.
And if you're someone like McManus, you know where everything is. So you're aware when you're making that hard cut to the net and you're expecting a pass coming your way, you know exactly where the blue line is, so you don't even have to look that much.
Fight for the loose ball is going to go the way of Westfield. Excellent hustle there by Jack Shirk. And Westfield, after allowing the goal, will have possession, but a strong ride by Harry Kilkowski and struggling to maintain his Dombrowski. And now Westfield will possess in the offensive third, under 9.5 to play, but now the 2-goal cushion.
That was definitely the most aggressive ride we've seen this night by Summit. Kilkowski came from behind and was lifting the stick of Dombrowski, but that just showed how talented the future Denver Pioneer player is with his stick, that he was able to get the ball back, cradle through a couple of attackmen, and then get it casually up the field. Their polls are as advertised and maybe the best duo of long stick defenders in the state.
Under 9 to play. Westfield with a 5-3 lead. And you said it, a lot of the games Summit is involved with feature baseball-like scores. This one not any different, as Nick Bond possesses going up against Jackson Tyler.
And if you're Westfield, you can't fall into that trap of just trying to play not to lose. You have to be aggressive still. Bond looks like he's desperately trying to find some space to uncork that shot, but you can't just have it thrown around the perimeter and pray that the clock will run down against Summit. They're going to be more aggressive on defense. They're going to come out soon. You have to continue to attack the cage if you're Westfield.
This is Warno. He has a hard shot, and he just whistles it wide.
If you're Coach Chewy, you would love to get the ball in the stick of this man right there, Devin McLane. He's been a magician behind the cage, and he could be confident taking any defender one-on-one to the net.
McLane with 2 goals and an assist. Aggression, a goal and 2 assists for McLane, as Westfield possesses with a 2-goal lead. Under 8 to play here in the fourth quarter, looking for their 3rd straight Union County title.
And it's great, Sid. This is feeling more and more like the weather right now tonight. It's feeling like a football type game between these two sides as things are starting to heat up between both teams looking for the county championship. Westfield had an opportunity there. If McLane wanted to force a pass, probably be the only player on that team that you'd give him the green light to do that.
Bond looking to go one-on-one. Rittendale out in front, Warnell.
Good extra passes, but now you're having the Summit faithful asking for that stall warning. They have not attempted a shot on Cage in this entire possession.
As Baldwin has it, and a timeout is called by Westfield, as Coach Tui has seen enough, and he wants to talk things over as things started to get a little messy late in that possession. And you said it, McLane has been the story of the evening. 2 goals and an assist this evening.
This one was the nice up and under move, got past his defender, laid it up and in, and that was the goal just before halftime. Then this one was unbelievable. Again, I call it the Harry Houdini move as he disappeared out of that double team, found a teammate for the goal, and he was celebrating. And then this one, right off of the transition play for Westfield. Again, he knew exactly where he was going with the shot even before he looked to the cage with the pass. McLane, an outstanding sophomore. He was the hero last year against Summit in overtime and double OT, scoring with a second left. And McLane is looking like he is up for trying to bring home that hardware yet again for his side here tonight. And in this timeout, Sid, if you're Coach Tui, you're stressing to your team that you have to expect in a couple of seconds' time, you're going to have a stall warning going against you. As the fans have been yelling here right underneath us, you have to expect that, all right, we have to attack the cage, and we have to do something now because the stall is on the way.
7:04 remaining in the fourth quarter from Arthur L. Johnson High School in Clark, New Jersey. This is the 2017 Union County Championship game between Westfield and Summit on Verizon Fios Sports. Siddiq Faruqi and Dan Long, glad to have you aboard. It's been an exciting contest between two teams with a lot of familiarity. This is the 6th straight year that Summit and Westfield have met in the county championship game, and that's the man right there, Devin McLane. 2 goals and an assist, all 3 points coming in exciting fashion, and he has propelled Westfield to a 2-goal lead as they have the possession out of a timeout.
And Westfield out shooting Summit 26-14 overall in the game. They have to stay aggressive here. This game is not over, far from it, with the way that Summit has their offensive players such as McManus and Kilkowski looming down the other side of the field.
This is Rittendale. Matt Rittendale had a goal disallowed earlier in this game for a crease violation. Engolke had the second goal for Westfield, and now the stall warning is on.
You felt that was coming out of that timeout because they've been holding on to the possession of the ball and not attempting a shot for a while. So even though that Summit's known for their zone defense, they're pressuring out a little bit more.
McLane finds a man out in front. That's Aslanian. Aslanian was tied up by the Summit defense, and now the clear attempt.
Forcing that one inside, trying to find a bang-bang play with a cutter. Good clamp down defense in the interior by Summit.
Smooth clear by Summit as they'll have possession under 6 to play here in the fourth quarter, down by 2.
Again, you don't have to rush things. Plenty of time left to go in regulation here. If you're Summit, you just want to work it around the perimeter, find those shooting angles, find that matchup that you've been looking for against Westfield. But the Blue Devils defense have been making life very, very difficult for the Summit offense. Can't get any real momentum and mismatch that they've been looking for.
Kilkowski and McManus didn't have to be 2 to look for here for Summit offensively for that final shot. As this one is whistled in, and it's Jack Johnson, his second goal of the game, and he brings Summit to within 1.
Johnson's been providing that offensive catalyst and that spark from the midfield here tonight as he just took the dodge up top, put his shoulder into his defender, switched up from the left to the right hand as again he bodied up Gibson, the long stick midi, and then just said, "Get out of my way." Fired it down overhand low with his right hand, and that was a bull dodge by Jack Johnson that anyone would be proud of, more of an attackman move. And we have ourselves a 1-goal game as Summit is pulled back to within 1.
Jack Johnson absolutely bullying his way towards the front of the net and unleashing one. And you said it, Dan, we are back to within 1. Summit likes to play these close games, and now we have one 1-goal game and a procedural hold. A hold on Westfield, and Summit will have the possession after scoring the goal. So now the Hilltoppers with some momentum, down by 1 as we approach 5 minutes to play here in the 4th.
And that might have actually been a very good hold for Westfield, because it looked like Summit was off and running, and that might have been a fast break opportunity for the Hilltoppers with a clean win on the faceoff. So it slows things down and makes Summit's offense work again. But they have to feel pretty confident right now after that last goal by Johnson.
Summit much more fluid now on the offensive end, and as you said, a lot more aggressive here in the 4th quarter and towards the end of the 3rd.
And Johnson again putting that shoulder down into the defender. You don't really have to reinvent the wheel here. You just want to get physical with your defender, do it legally so, and get some space to shoot. Watch out for McManus, number 14, lurking inside. He's setting picks right now, but then he'll quickly come off a pick to get to open space on the wing.
Johnson, 2 goals and an assist. Looking to free himself up. Great job there defensively by Luke Hunziker.
Good double team briefly came in to force Johnson to go away to space.
Working on a shorty there. That was Connor Freer. And now they swing it out to Corey McManus.
This is what you want, the isolate the defensive midi if you're Summit. Giving it off to McManus. But definitely Moeller is the one that if he gets that opportunity again, you might see him dodge to the cage.
Johnson going up against a long stick.
And that's the respect paid to Johnson after scoring his 2nd goal there. No more fooling around. Switching on another long pole against him.
Kilkowski going against Pribiliski. Good one here between Pribiliski and Kilkowski. Kilkowski, 30 goals, 27 assists coming into this game. And now the stall warning is on.
Summit hasn't really been attacking all that much, so you can understand with that call from the officials.
Johnson with the stall warning on.
Quick double team coming from Westfield. You have to see where the double team's coming from. Reverse the ball quickly if you're Summit.
And a timeout is called by Summit as Jim Davidson, 19th year head coach, wants to talk things over with 2:55 remaining, and Summit in a bit of trouble there as Westfield was tiling it up defensively. And Jim Davidson wants to talk things over.
And Westfield is doing an exceptional job of the double teams, also the slide packages that they've been constantly confusing. The middies and some of the attackmen for Summit, they're not knowing where the double team's coming from them, so they have to keep on reversing the ball, moving it around, and getting passes rather than shot opportunities. So if you're Coach Dewey, you're constantly saying, continue to be aggressive. Know your slides, know who's your 2 slide, know who's going to be coming from behind if you're going to be making that run.
This game was 3-2 at halftime. Let's get a look at the 2nd half scoring.
Again, McLane getting out of a pair of double teams here, keeping his head up the entire time, surveying the defense, finding his teammate, and we're now finishing it up with the goal for Westfield. And McLane again doing it himself. That time off of the feed from Pribilski. But Summit getting back in this game with McManus tiptoeing the crease, finishing that one just after a man-up opportunity, and then Johnson with a bull dodge up top pulls them to where we are right now at 5-4. But if you're Summit, you want to be more aggressive there, Sid. You saw what Johnson did where he just put his shoulder down, went at the defender, and shot the ball. I'm kind of surprised that they even got to this point where they drew a stall warning. You're down in the game. You know your defense is staunch behind you. Be aggressive. Get more shot opportunities. Make McCauley work for it. They haven't been attempting those shots. They've been content with more running the clock and passing the ball around. We'll see what they've drawn up here after this timeout from Coach Davidson.
So Harry Kilkowski out of the timeout will trigger this possession. 2:55 remaining in the 4th quarter. With Westfield holding on to a 5-4 lead, the stall warning still on. Kilkowski, will he try to make a move here? Kilkowski out in front, bounces it. Nothing happening there, and the ground ball is collected by Luke Hunziker.
He was trying to do that finalizer dodge that has been made famous in college by the Powell brothers at Syracuse, using that net, the back of the net, as another defender that he could fall down behind it, but nothing going there. Kilkowski missing that opportunity.
Owen Pribiliski completing the clear for Westfield. A big clear for the Blue Devils as they possess with a 1-goal lead and under 2:15 remaining in the fourth quarter in the 2017 Union County Championship game.
What a luxury to have if you're Coach Chewy, to have long poles at your disposal like that they make clear so effortless, so easy to get offensive possession back to your team.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the fourth. And the stall warning is on, so they got to get right in the box as Bond possessing.
As Westfield leads with under 2 minutes left to go, they have to keep it in as per the rules. So Summit has that boundary now to their advantage and can push out a little more.
McLane evades the defender and will hold on to it. Again, Westfield has to stay in the box, under 1.5 to play, 1-goal lead. McLane double teamed, and a timeout is called by Westfield. So with 1:23 remaining in the fourth, and McLane double teamed, Coach Toohey calls a timeout.
Great timeout there taken by Coach Toohey, sensing not necessarily that McLane was in danger, even though Vatan had come out of his net and was harassing him, trying to force the turnover. McLane is as sure-handed stick work-wise than anybody I've seen this year in the Garden State. But just to settle his team down, remind everybody else and his teammates, hey, spread the field. We're trying to run some clock. If the goal is open and you definitely know that you can go and finish it, then go right ahead. But really, you don't need to score another goal and give an opportunity for Summit to win the faceoff and then win another faceoff to tie it up.
Westfield looking for their third straight Union County Championship game.
As we look at this last clearing opportunity for Westfield, and this is what makes them sensational. When you look at some of the best teams in high school and college lacrosse, you clear it so easily and at an 80% mark. And look at the polls. The cross-field passes, not even relying on defensive middies subbing onto the field or in the middle of the field. You just get it from one long stick and Hunsaker, and then eventually to your standout in Probilski, and Probilski then doing the nest. It's just an unbelievable unit that Coach Toohey has here. Nobody else does it this way in New Jersey. That it's just pole to pole and just relying on everything.
Dan, what are you looking for out of this timeout?
Well, you want to give the ball to McLane. Definitely. That's the easiest decision you can make. And you have him run a little bit outside the boundary. As you see the blue marker for the box that's inside. You can run around a little bit because after this, with this timeout, you start outside it. So you could have 10 seconds before you have to step in, because then when you step in, the stall is on.
So McLane triggers this out of the timeout. The goalie is out.
And if you're McLane, just run around the end zone.
McLane loses it. The double came and McLane lost it. It was shoved away by Jamison Waldron. Under a minute to play. Summit on the clear. And almost an errant clear. And a flag flies as Moeller is fouled. And now Summit, with 52.5 remaining, are going to be a man up.
Hunsaker just being a little too over-aggressive there with the slash. After he was trying to have the poke check, he got the contact on the helmet of Moeller. That draws the minute man-up opportunity for Summit. And a huge opportunity here for Summit to get the tying goal.
A 1-minute penalty, only the second EMO opportunity for either team is going to be the second for Summit. So 52.5 seconds remaining as Summit will be on the man-up opportunity with a chance to tie this game up. And a timeout is called by Summit.
Last timeout of the game for Summit, and Coach Davison, who will now draw something, and you'd have to think that number 14, who's standing right there, the middle of his huddle, is going to be a major factor possibly inside for this extra man opportunity.
So Summit on the EMO with 52.5 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter of the 2017 Union County Championship game between Westfield and Summit from Arthur L. Johnson High School in Clark, New Jersey on Verizon Fios Sports. Sadiq Faruqi and Dan Long, and What a defensive-minded affair it's been. Both teams vying for that beautiful piece of hardware as Westfield maintaining a 1-goal lead with 52.5 remaining, but Dan, Summit on the EMO after the slashing penalty.
Here's your opportunity for Summit. You've been fighting back all game. You've never held a lead in this one. You've been trying to get back to that tying goal, and now you have an extra man where you can be patient. You don't have to necessarily attack the cage here. You could work it around and then eventually look for somebody cutting from either around the back of the net to the crease or coming off a couple of picks inside. You don't have to rush things, but definitely you know time is of the essence, and you have the extra man for really the rest of this game.
Here we go, 52.5 remaining, fourth quarter. County championship game, Summit down by 1, but they are on the EMO as Jack Johnson with 2 goals and an assist will start this possession for Summit. Summit a little bit more aggressive here in the fourth quarter on their offensive sets as they try to find that shot. Who will it be? Moeller possessing. Now for McManus. Moeller. McManus.
And be aware of McManus as a lefty trying to take that shot in the near wing.
This is Johnson, long shot, and he whistles it wide. 20 seconds remaining, a long shot attempt there by Jack Johnson.
If you're Westfield, keep your sticks up, knocking down any hard passes or cuts in the middle.
This is Johnson again. Time winding down. Under 10 seconds to play. McManus. Summit looking for that shot. McManus in trouble. Bouncer and a save made by McCauley. And that'll do it. Westfield survives. And they win their 3rd straight county title.
Championship. Congratulations, Westfield.
What is it about these two sides that lead to the Cardiac Kids of Westfield bringing home the three-peat here in the counties? What an unbelievable accomplishment. 3 years in a row. Vindication again after losing 5-2 earlier on in the regular season. McCauley and company, very, very impressive performance on defense. And congratulations to Coach Toohey on a great win here.
Let's look at the final possession. Summit on the EMO.
They worked it around a lot, but didn't have really that many cutters inside and were forced to have McManus launch that shot going across his body up top and allowed McCauley to track it the whole time through to make the low save. He swallowed up the rebound as someone on Summit was trying to poach it from the crease. But Westfield was outstanding in keeping that outside and keeping the win.
So Westfield completes a three-peat, a 5-4 win over Summit. We'll be back to wrap this one up on Verizon Fios Sports.
Why do we like it here? Let's just say the reasons are
Another year, another county championship.
Kane University.
Westfield holds on in the final minute, killing off a 52-second EMO, and they win their 3rd straight Union County Championship with a final score of 5-4. Dan Long is down on the field with Devin McLane.
Devin, when the lights are shining brightest here, the Union County final, you always come up huge, especially against Summit. Another year, another county championship. What is it about being on this stage that brings out the very best in you?
You know, we've had some great wins here, so it's very special to play in this game. And we like to think of our team as a big game team, and we really execute in these games and just get the job done.
You have exceptional skill, 2 goals and an assist. The assist was unbelievable today. Talk a bit about your performance and what you saw against this stingy Summit defense.
Once again, Summit's running their zone, no surprise there. But, you know, we just had to find the seams in there. You know, make the one more pass, and I think that's what we did today. We drew the double, found the skip pass, and were able to put it away.
You guys always seem to be peaking at the right time every season. Now 3 consecutive county championships going into the state playoff run. What do you see on the horizon for your team?
I see some great things on this horizon. Hopefully we'll take this momentum moving forward. Seton Hall on Wednesday, that's another big game, and we just got to keep this train rolling.
Thanks a lot for your time. Congratulations again, completing the three-peat here. Devin McLane, our player of the game. Back to you, Sid.
All right, Dan. So Devin McLane certainly with a flair for the dramatic in this series and in this game tonight. 2 goals and an assist, and showing off some exceptional talent in the process. So once again, Westfield holding off Summit in the last minute. With Summit on the EMO, they go on to a 5-4 win for their 3rd straight county championship. For our producer Frank Pasquandro, statistician Bill Brombers, and Dan Long, I'm Steve Faruqi. This has been a presentation of Verizon Fios 1 Sports.
This has been a special presentation